Hey guys, it's Truth Tiger here, and let me tell you, as a man, you have to love a woman. It's what God commands. He says, a man must love his wife, and a wife must respect her husband. So, this is the commandment of God, and the reason why I'm making this video is I made a video yesterday. I was kind of talking about women, and I was kind of talking about the ups and downs, and I will drop some red pills and I will talk about the problems with this generation of women. It is a sign of the times. I do need to speak the truth on it, but as I was watching it, the spirit told me, like, you went too far. You didn't need to go that far with it. And I was like, all right. So I ended up deleting the video, and then I kind of went into some spiritual warfare. And, like, in here, like, I love women, but just the culture here gets us in the gender war. And it's not a new thing. This has been going on forever, and I witnessed it in the home, and just the Matrix just got me in this man versus woman kind of thing, and it's kind of like there's all these. Cause I live in a pretty liberal area. There's all these feminists that hate men, and then you're like, I gotta hit back with this red pill stuff, and it's like it's okay to be red pilled, but, like, don't hate women. Don't go to that point, because, like, it's vital to our functioning as men to love women. It's part of what motivates us. It's part of what moves us along, and it's what God commands of us. Like, you don't want to be that guy. And, like, for me, it was just 100% up here. There was no hardness of heart, so it was very easy for me to cast these demons out and to move past it with the help of God, of course. But just the Matrix had a hold of me. It has a hold of us all. And I realized that I was in error with some of the stuff that I was that I was believing. And I remember reading in the Bible where the serpent tempts Eve to eat the apple, and she eats the apple, shares it with Adam. Now, women basically have to follow along with men and sort of yeah, it's not an ideal situation. Now there's some enmity between men and women because of that, and but more importantly, there is enmity between the serpent and the woman. And I was like, huh. And I realized this serpent of society and this serpent of the matrix, through my family and my generations, came into me. And I remember going into spiritual warfare and rebuking this right before bed last night. And in that kind of half dream, half awake state, I saw, like, this, like, snake and this, like, lizard thing. It's kind of vague, but I saw this snake and lizard thing coming out of me, and then I just, like, kind of didn't jump up from my bed entirely, but kind of, like, sat up pretty quickly, and my head started shaking. I started, like, went into a little bit of convulsions, and I was just like, ah, ah, and then this thing left me. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I never wanted that. I never wanted to be that guy. Like, I just want to call out some of the BS that we're kind of dealing with as men. That's really all I want to do. I don't want to be, like, hating women. And I used to be very into this red pill thing. And I mean, what a lot of people don't know is, like, they had this thing called, like, the dark triad, and it was like it's basically just telling you to be a sociopath and a narcissist. And I remember this was about over 10 years ago, so I'm 19. I'm already annoyed at the world. I didn't have a good childhood, just didn't have good parents, and to be honest, my mother was not a good mother, so there's a lot of, you know, anger towards her as an individual. And women will kind of do the same thing, where their dad was a total jerk, so now they're uh, angry toward men, and it's forgivable. You can get past it. For me, it was just all up in my head. It wasn't in my heart, so there wasn't hardness of heart that I had to plow through. But man, I realized, like, what am I doing? How am I getting like this? Like, I mean, a good woman is such a great thing, and, like, we need women. Like, as men, like, I love hanging out with the boys, but it's like we're talking over each other. We're just switching topics like that. Like, I'm telling him a story, he's telling me a story. This guy's like, let me show you this thing on my phone, and we're all just kind of, like, talking over each other and stuff. Whereas with women, it's like you're having a conversation, and it's like slowed down, and you're following along, and it's just it's just nice, you know. It really is nice. And like, women produce, they push the baby out of them. Like, roosters don't lay eggs. You need a chicken for that. You're not going to be able to get any milk from a bowl, and if you did, you wouldn't want to drink that milk. And yeah, even with plants, man, like there's male and female plants, and you know, yeah, I mean, for those of you who don't know about too much about plants or horticulture or whatever, yeah, I mean, if I hadn't known that, you'd tell me there's a male and a female plant, I'd be like, dude, what are you talking about? You would have had to, really show me it for me to believe it. But yeah, there's male and female plants, and guess what? The female plant's the one that gives you all the fruits, So yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a very there's very important things in the feminine. There's care. There's I can think of something very funny that the comedian Patrice O'Neill said. He has since passed away, but this is kind of gross and weird. But he was just telling this joke, and he's talking about how maybe I shouldn't say this, but and him and his wife were like drinking each other's pee or something weird like that. They're doing that some nasty weird stuff in the bedroom, but she tasted his and she was like, you need to go to the doctor. You need to get checked out. And he did, and he was having like some diabetes issues or some blood sugar issues. So it's a special kind of care that women give. And guys, forgive me, that's kind of a nasty example. But, look, I'm a man. We like being nasty. We like farts. We like to be gross and transgressive. And, women are more like, oh, don't say that. Don't curse. Don't whatever. And, yeah. So, but I thought it's a good example. So I said it. So, yeah. But it's really, there's something very lovely and special and entertaining and just, there really is something different about a woman. Like, she's just different. Like, a woman's almost like an alien, A woman just like a whole different creature, you know? She really is. It's like, because, when God created man, he created Adam out of the dust, and we hear about him creating other animals and stuff like that. When he creates Eve, he puts Adam to sleep. He takes a piece of Adam's rib, and then Eve comes out of that. So it's kind of crazy. It's like there's some whole special sauce in how Eve got created, and it's like, whoa, how did that happen? So really, there's just something different about women. Like, if you look at a female wolf, like, she's not that much different from the male wolf. She's just a little bit smaller, a little bit weaker, but she still is the same kind of deal. You look at a female lion, like, yeah, the male lion's a lot bigger. He's got his big mane, but a lioness will still really mess you up, and she is still very strong and tough and all that. Whereas a human woman is just, there's a special softness and just a differentness to them, and it's almost like they're a whole different species, and it's like they're specifically made and created for like civilization. Like, if you take a human man and you sort of make us feral and toughen us up, we'd kind of just be one of the beasts if you look at how we're built. But if you look at how a woman is built, she can never be one of the beasts of the forest, or one of the beasts of the earth. Like, whereas you look at a man, it's just very tough, utilitarian, like, just thicken our skin up, get our hair growing out a little bit more, give us a little bit, some claws, some teeth, and we're pretty much there. Whereas a human woman is just so softly built, and really, God made them for us men. God gave women to us as a gift. So we need to love and appreciate that. And on the other side of things, like on the red pill side of things, like, there's a lot of women out there who are going to act like spoiled brats, reject you for no reason, and just it's like you're never good enough, and it's like they always want to upgrade to a better guy, or just really not being genuine with you. Like, just kind of get off the beaten path, get out of the matrix, and you can find a nice gal for yourself. And there's a lot of trashy guys too. Like what happens on the masculine is going to happen on the feminine, and there's a lot of guys who are fake and dishonest and want to act like victims and are just trying to manipulate and take advantage and stuff. So it does happen on both sides. And I'll say this, like as a man, like don't put value on all women. Put value on the special woman in your life who you know and you trust. But for some of these girls, man, like they're not worth nada. They're not worth squat. You know, like they're actually negative in value. Like getting involved with them will lower your value. And if you're one of these guys who's just like you're 50 years old, you got messed up by a divorce, you don't have any hope in love and whatever, like maybe get a dog, maybe get a motorcycle, enjoy your life, like but if you have a good woman and you're like you're in the right place, you're doing the right stuff, like she will add so much to your life. She will double everything. The number one is a masculine number. The number two is a feminine number. So if you can really get that woman that's like has that good connection with you, like she will double everything in your life, double your happiness, double your excitement, double your business, double your money. Like she'll bring a doubling of everything in your life if she's that good God given woman for you. And we need to yeah, we need. Sorry guys, there's just a little narrow thing I'm driving through, and I don't want to talk and drive when I'm like a foot away from someone's car. But all right, we got through there. But like a good woman is just such a special thing for you in your life. Like there's nothing like a good woman. She's just so special, and there's just a niceness and a care and a kindness. Like a woman, they see your lips are chapped, they got some chapstick for you or something. Like your boys, your buddies, your bros, like, nah, dude. Like it's not. Care is just a feminine thing. Care is a very, very feminine thing. It's not a masculine thing. Masculinity is about guidance, leadership, strength, toughness, durability, never giving up, having plans and having ideas and being able to improvise and come up with little things whereas being a woman, it's about care and creativity and building things and taking things to the next level. So, there's just such a specialness to women, and I really don't want us guys to get maybe too red pilled and too angry and too off the track. And I get that there is a lot of entitlement. And, I've been around a lot of women who have a very extremely entitled attitude and don't have realistic expectations, and it's very hard to make them happy. Like that stuff does exist, and there are a lot of women who will drag men through the family court. And I was actually at the mechanic getting some work done on my car. This car I'm riding in right here, and I was talking to the guy working behind the front desk, and there was a woman, and she was a single mom, and all this stuff, and he was the baseball coach of her kids, and he came in their life, and the kids loved him, and all this stuff, but she was just a real nutcase, and really ended up ruining this guy's life in a lot of ways. And I mean, men do get their lives ruined by women, and hey, men ruin women's lives too. So it does go both ways. Both these things do happen. It's not an issue of gender. It's an issue of narcissism. And with women, it's an issue of the Jezebel spirit, and we have to just call that out and call that out the right way. Like getting too caught up and all this like Andrew Tate stuff, or like I'll look at a lot of the red pill stuff. I'm just like, I want to agree with this, but there's just schemers, scammers, hustlers, and it's taking it in a direction to hate women, and it's also taking it in a direction as men to act like a victim and to be all these girls are out to get me, and like that's not a masculine way to be rocking, is to be in that victim mindset. Like you don't want to kind of have that. Like I'll just say this, like we want to be unplugged from all the feminism and the Jezebel spirit and all these women who want to take away our masculinity and want to, paint us as bad people. And like, we want to, fight against that and, fight for our honor as men. We definitely do want to do that. But at the same time, it's like you got all these red pill gurus and they're really trying to get you on this thing of hating women and just, really getting you in a very negative victim mentality kind of thing. And you don't want to be there. You really want to love a woman and you really want to value a woman. Like, a good woman is like worth more than the whole earth, man. It really is. She really is. But a bad woman, don't put no value on her. And I'll say this is unfortunately we live in a narcissistic world. We live in a narcissistic society and there are a lot of women who are kind of very stuck up and arrogant and weird and like they already assume you're going to do bad things to them as a man or they just got some bad ideas or whatever. And like those women, like I won't even look at them. I won't look at them. The second I kind of see that, I'm gonna end the conversation and just kind of move on. So you gotta kind of, as a man, when you're dealing with someone, even if you feel lonely or you're not having luck with other people or whatever, like if you're talking to a woman and she seems weird, like cut that off quick. Don't keep talking to her. Don't keep hanging with her. Don't put lips on her, don't have intercourse with her, don't do nothing. And so, we do have to be careful and we have to be kind of somewhat red pilled, but we need to find balance and not get caught up in the gurus. And like that Andrew Tate guy is not a good guy. And I've seen a lot of people I respect kind of get duped by him because he seems decent at first, but when you really kind of look into his background, there's a lot of bad stuff there, a lot of not good stuff. I could make another video about that, but there's a lot of weird vibes in that stuff, and there's a lot of the snake is there, Satan is there, the Matrix is there. So guys, like, don't plug into the Matrix of feminism, but at the same time, this red pill Matrix, like, don't plug into that either. Just be independent as a man, stand up for yourself, don't be so dependent on women's attention. And yeah, like a good woman, that's the apple of your eye. A good woman is just everything. She is everything. You would die for her. You would give up everything for her. For that real good woman, it's like I would die. I would give everything up because there's just a specialness to women that's just different. There's a specialness, there's a beauty, there's an intrigue. Like, women are just so fascinating and so interesting. And like, women are a trip, man. Like, their menstrual cycle lines up with the moon. Like, huh? What? Like, and man, like the motivation of a woman is so strange. Like, you could ask Albert Einstein, you could ask, I don't know, Da Vinci, you could ask all Galileo, whatever. You could ask all the geniuses throughout history, Pythagoras, and ask them, how does a woman work? They won't be able to tell you, man. So only God himself knows how the woman works, man. Women are just complicated, bro. Like, women are kind of like computers. Like, I work with computers, and like, computers are so finicky. Like, if you get one little detail wrong, the code won't run, the program won't run, it won't work. Just one little thing wrong, and then like you got to look on the operating system sometimes, and like your the code, the programming language that you're using has to be installed a certain way, and there has to be environment variables, and you might need to run these updates, and you might do all this stuff, and then all of a sudden it works, and you don't even know why, or you're running your code and you don't know why it doesn't work, and you copy and paste someone's thing from online, then all of a sudden it works, and you're like, why did that make it work? I don't know. So yeah, women are just so intricate, man. Like, all the little details really matter to them. Like, everything is some little intricacy, and sometimes a woman just really likes you, sometimes she doesn't, and like, you can't force anything with women. Like, if a woman's gonna like you, she's gonna really like you. If she's not gonna like you, she's not going to. And like, if you're trying to be a man and like, like select, like, it's hard to select them, man. It's hard to sort of point. They kind of pick you. It's hard to kind of point at one and say, all right, that's the one. And like, you can't really you can't really bend the bracket and jam it in there. They're not like us men. We're more simple creatures. Like for them, it just there's something about them that makes them tick that way. That makes them like certain people or like certain things or whatever. And it's really very mysterious how it works with women. It's a crazy mystery. Yeah. Um, yeah. I think I'll probably put a pin in it there. I don't want to ramble around too much, but yeah, I'm just gonna end this with a prayer and just say, God, be with us. For all the men watching this, help us find a good woman. For all the women watching this, help them find a good man. And just for people who are in relationships, make sure that relationship is a good relationship. And if anybody's in a relationship with a narcissist or a satanic agent or anybody like that, like please God inform them of that and help them to get out of it and help them to get out of narcissistic situations and just God be with us. Just help us in this gender war. Like there's a lot of men hating women and a lot of women hating men and like let's just help us come together as one. Like us men and women, we both need each other. So just melt people's hearts, open up people's minds, and help us get past this whole gender war thing. Let it be done, my Father in heaven. All right, guys, I will see you next time.